Hey, what's good, everybody? Welcome to another live session with the Hype Magazine. I'm your editor-in-chief, Jerry Doby. And today, I've got the amazing honor of speaking to one of the America's youngest 500-hour certified yoga teachers by the name of Tabay Atkins. He is a Nike athlete, a yogi, a vegan chef. Oh, we're going to talk about this vegan chef thing, a nutritionist, and a Reiki master. And so we're going to find out what all that's about. And thank you for being with us today, Tebe.
Thank you for having me.
Man. All right, so let's kick it off with from the inside looking out, since you're such a self-aware young man. Who is Tabay Atkins?
So what I do is basically, to sum it all up, wellness. My mission, my career, everything that I do is based on wellness. And that's why I chose all the paths that I did. First, it was yoga. That's when I first got into yoga, which I'll get into in a little bit. Um, that was my mission, yoga. But then along my journey, I started learning more and more about health and wellness. Veganism came along, so I started teaching that as well. I became a vegan chef and started teaching cooking classes as well. Then a bit more came along. I learned more about nutrition. I also became a Reiki master not too long ago. And I'm using all of these tools and techniques and practices that I've learned along the way to benefit the people of the world, to share what I've learned from each of them and just give the power of wellness and health from these traditions to everyone as much as people as I can.
Okay, all right. So, like, what was the defining moment for you that brought you onto this path?
It was when I was 6 years old. That's when my mom was diagnosed with stage 3 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma cancer. And we had never known anything about yoga at that time. I would even say yoga is new to us. Yoga was nothing. We didn't know anything about it then. Um, so my mom, she had very intensive cancer treatment because she was misdiagnosed for so long, 8 months. So the cancer progressed very far before any treatment was taken, any treatment took place. So it was very intense. The treatment broke her down physically and emotionally. She couldn't even walk on her own because her knees were became really weak. It wasn't until after she beat cancer that we got into yoga for the first time. She was 2 weeks cancer free and got into yoga for the first time. It was introduced to her by a friend of a friend, and she got into yoga, practiced it for 2.5 months. I was by her side watching her, and I noticed such a dramatic transformation. She was By the end of those 2.5 months, she was completely recovered from the effects of chemotherapy and cancer. She could walk on her own again.
Wow.
She wasn't as emotionally down as she was at the beginning. And she was just healthier and happier than even before she had cancer.
Wow.
Yeah. And I was 7 at that time. And that is when I discovered I wanted to become a yoga teacher. I saw how much it helped my mom heal. And that was quite a dramatic change. And I was so inspired that I decided I want to use this practice to help other people who may not know about yoga or its benefits, and just be someone to teach people all the healing powers of this ancient practice.
Okay. And you become so deep with it that the celebrities are coming out the woodwork. Cats like Deepak Chopra, the Kardashians, just to name a few, I'm sure,
Right.
have sought you out. And how does that make you feel? I know that maybe ego is not a big thing with you guys that practice this way of life, but you got to have some sort of feeling like, wow, these people really respect what I'm doing.
Yeah, it makes me feel good that these people, um, they reached out to me wanting to learn this practice for me. Also, people with these higher platforms, I really appreciate them, sharing their platform with me, allowing me to reach more people and really continue with my mission to reach and inspire as many people as I can. So I'm really grateful for that as well. But yeah, like when I taught for Deepak Chopra, for example, it was one of his events that he had. It was a seminar, and I was a guest teacher and taught over 350 of his guests for a yoga class, and it was really
Wow.
amazing. Yeah.
Okay, so looking out at an audience of 350 people, what does that feel like?
It feels pretty great. That was at the time. Let me see. No, yeah, that was a it was a pretty big class, and it was really great. We did a really nice flow. Kind of, it was Halloween themed because the night was Halloween,
Okay.
and it was a really fun night. We got to do the yoga for it was a 60-minute practice, and everyone really enjoyed it. I got some lots of really great feedback, and it was a really nice night.
Okay. So in the midst of learning all this stuff, y'all, the yoga, being a vegan chef, nutritionist, and Reiki master, this young dude graduated 3.5 years early from high school with a 4.0 GPA. Congratulations,
Thank
shout
you.
out, salute. How did you pull it off?
So it was just, motivation and dedication. I was in private homeschool at the time. I wasn't private homeschool the whole time. Just I started the second half of sixth grade, the beginning of middle school, and since it was a private online homeschool, I was able to go at my own pace. So instead of being in a room with 30 other students and everyone going at the pace where everyone learned, and when everyone's learned a subject, we move on. Subjects that I am already good at and already know, I can blow through those as fast as I can. And the subjects that I need a bit more work on, I could focus on that more, take the time that I need. And what I was doing is I was moving at double the pace.
Okay.
So in one semester, I would finish an entire school year. In one school year, I would have finished 2 school years. And my goal was to finish high school because I didn't want to just finish high school so I could be done with school. And that wasn't the only reason. It was because I wanted to be able to focus on my career of being a yoga teacher and a vegan chef, and now also Reiki master and everything else. But at that time, I wanted to focus on this, so I have more time, to focus on, creating content, teaching classes, and just sharing my mission to the world. So
Okay.
the goal that I set for myself was by my birthday of 2020 on my birthday. That was in August. And I saw, wow, my finish line is getting closer, and I'm not even near then. So I guess I'll move it back a little bit. So then I said I want to be finished by New Year, the very end of 2019, beginning of 2020. I was getting closer. Okay, Christmas, and then I
Yeah.
finished it on I finished my last lesson on Thanksgiving Eve,
Wow.
2019.
Wow. That's unfathomable to me.
Thank you.
Yeah, but congratulations, you're an
Thank
amazing
you.
person. Um, that kind of focus you don't find in very many people. Makes you very special.
Thank
Uh,
you. Yeah,
yeah,
I was very determined.
very determined. Yeah, I was like happy to get out of college 5 years later, and so I'm like, anyway. So okay, before we get into this argument about veganism, let's talk about you as a Reiki master. What is that?
So Reiki is it's this healing modality where you are, rather than, creating your own energy and using that energy, directing it to a person, you or me being the one giving Reiki, you are the vessel in which the energy of the universe goes through me. So I'm directing the universal energy to a person, place, thing, or situation. Um, and it's just me being connected to this level of universal light and energy, and guiding it through me to whatever it is that I'm choosing to heal.
Okay. So
Yeah.
how did you discover this skill set path? Was it, tied into the yoga lifestyle as well, or how did that?
Well, it kind of, I was introduced to it because, first was yoga, and it wasn't because I heard about yoga and wanted to know more about it. It happened almost by accident, really. Of course, there are no accidents. I now see everything happens and doesn't happen for a reason. When I got into yoga, that's what started me on this path. And this path isn't just a straight path. There's so many other paths to take from it. So I started on yoga, then later discovered veganism. But the way I discovered Reiki actually is because my mom, so my mom and I, we were traveling the country taking teacher trainings and becoming certified in yoga so we could teach it. My mom also took Reiki trainings. She became certified in Reiki level 1 and 2, and that was, I don't know, I might have been maybe 10 years old when she did that. I don't remember, but around that age, that's how old I was when she got into Reiki. And I was a little bit interested in it. I didn't know much about it, but um, it definitely sparked interest for me. Um, but I continued doing yoga. Veganism came a little bit later, but recently I got into Reiki. I became trained to be Reiki level 1, Reiki level 2, and Reiki level 3, which is Reiki master. And by being Reiki master, I'm able to, one, do Reiki to myself, two, do Reiki to other people, do Reiki to people, places, things, and situations. I can also teach people how to do Reiki to themselves.
Mm.
I can teach people how to give Reiki to others, and I can teach people how to teach people to give Reiki.
So you could train the trainer. Okay.
Yes. A teacher teaching teachers teaching teachers.
Man, what an amazing young person.
Thank
I,
you.
you know, all right. So Nike athlete. So are you 17 now, or you still 16?
16.
You're
I
still
will be 17 this August.
this August.
This
Okay.
August.
So now I haven't let you off the hook for the veganism argument, but we're gonna go with the positive. We're gonna go with the Nike athlete. How did you pull that off?
So Nike, they were, following my story for a while and reached out to me around a year ago, I would say. They reached out to me, and after talking a little bit, they told me that they wanted me to be a Nike athlete for their for Nike, of course, but also even more specifically in their Nike yoga department,
Okay.
which I don't think is new. It's relatively new, but it's been there. Nike yoga, and so being a Nike athlete, I am creating content in what I'm trained to teach, which is yoga, and sharing that on their platform, and like whether that's social media or their Nike playlists on YouTube. And so it's reaching specifically Nike yoga, but then also broader the whole Nike universe.
Okay. Look, man, what an amazing young man we have here. Look at this young brother.
Thank
He
you.
is, determined. He's self-aware. He's aware of the world. He's had some unique experiences driven by factors which he had no control over, his mother having cancer and taking on her positivity, you know, and she maintained her practice of yoga. And, a couple of months later was able to walk again. She's cancer free. So there's some victories that he's achieved through his lifestyle, and you know uh, some benefits to knowing this young man, obviously, and taking his training. So it's good. All right, now we're gonna have some fun because I'm a meatitarian, and
Okay.
I love to have these conversations with vegan people.
Yes, this is going to be really fun.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun.
Yeah.
What in the world make y'all think that only plant proteins are the best proteins in the world that we can function? And we were designed by the higher power to eat everything, fruits, vegetables, and meat. What up, though?
I wouldn't say designed to eat meat, um, but in the very early stages of humanity, like really, really big beginning, uh, I'm talking caveman times. uh, you the kind of idea is cavemen going out hunting, eating all this meat, and that's based on what we found in these remains. So lots of animal bones and um, all these things for hunting, but really I don't know exactly where I saw this research, but the reason that we've seen so much of these animal remains and little plant remains is because plant doesn't really stay around that long. It turns to nothingness, turns to soil. But really, some researchers looked deep into the area around where they found also these animal remains, found so much plant remains, as basic as they could find it, and lots of tools for getting plants, which shows that humans ate a mostly plant-based diet. Um, Animals weren't really that easy to get for them and to live off of, because you just can't get that much of it. And they ate it because food is low. They went hunting for animals as well, but they ate a mostly plant-based diet. And actually, I've seen on a nature documentary some plant-based creatures acting a bit out of character, eating not plant-based foods. It's kind of the same situation, you see.
Okay.
And also, of course, there's a few things. 1 second.
Take your time.
Also, in my plant-based nutrition training, I learned, of course, this is just based off history, but now based off of what I learned in this training, um, about the role plant foods play in our bodies, and the effects of non-plant-based foods, like meats, dairies, eggs. I also learned a bit further about other plant foods that you should try to avoid, like refined and processed oils or sugars. Um, the diet that I have right now is whole food plant-based, which is a bit further than vegan, because vegan is just all all plant products and taking out all animal products. Whole food plant-based is a step further, where you're eating only plant-based products, but you're also taking out the processed and refined foods. So refined oils, refined sugars, and but of course you need oil in your diet. You need sugar in your diet. You get those naturally from naturally sweet foods, like dates for sweetness, fruits, berries. For fats, you get from naturally high fat whole foods like avocados, olives, almonds, these kinds of things. Getting it from its actual source, because in recent times we've kind of had this habit of taking out certain things from foods and having that um, that sole thing that we want, but really that's not a way to get what you need. Nature was designed to put everything we need in all the foods. You're not supposed to take out what you need from each one. You're not going to get it that way. Everything is such a connected system, where everything we eat benefits our body, and by extracting certain things from it, we're not going to get what we need, and it actually causes health problems.
Okay. All right. Well, somebody made the point to me before about uh the gladiators. The gladiators
Yeah. Uh-huh.
ate mostly a plant-based, diet,
exactly.
and they were absolute studs. Yeah.
They actually had the nickname bean and barley eaters.
Bean and barley eaters,
Yeah,
but they were, immensely strong, fit. Not to mention they mixed that, of course, with the physical exercise and that
exactly.
they did. But
Right.
um, I myself have tried some vegan stuff, and by some supposedly really good vegan cooks, chefs. I still haven't found much, to me as a vegetarian, that's quite as palatable, tasty, and fulfilling as a pork chop.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the main things that holds people back from going to the plant-based diet is, fear of missing out on normal flavors, flavors that you're used to, flavors that you love. But really, by switching plant-based, you're going to um, one, get all the foods that you need that will, fuel your body, give you what you need, keep you healthy. Um, and if you're doing it with an open mind and doing it, using the all the resources we now have, because it's a lot easier now to go vegan than it was a few years ago.
Okay.
It's definitely becoming a lot easier. So just taking advantage of all the resources out there, whether it's cookbooks, restaurants, um, all these new vegan alternatives. Um, and really, I haven't found um, a single meal that has not been substituted plant-based.
Mm. Tell me how you make a mushroom taste like a pork chop.
Well, same way you make a pork chop taste like a pork chop. It's not the meat that gives it the flavor. It's the seasoning. It's the way you cook it.
Mm.
All the stuff that makes meat taste the way it does is the cooking process. It's not the meat itself. The meat itself, that would not be very good.
Mm.
You need all these flavors added to it to make it into these delicious meals that we all know and love. And that's really one of the ways that I make my vegan recipes to mimic the non-vegan originals. Just making the same thing, except instead of meat, let me try something else. Let me use mushrooms. Let me use cauliflower. Let me see what other ingredient can I use that will give it a similar texture and feel and is a good vessel for these flavors that I want to recreate. Like I've made vegan fish that tastes and looks just like fish. I've made like I made a sushi roll, and I made sashimi. My grandpa, who is not vegan, he could not believe that it was vegan. He couldn't believe that it was real fish. Same with let's see, like there's this one meat dish from Persian culture that I used to eat a lot called kebab, and it's this meat skewer that we've been able to recreate just by using our normal homemade meat substitutes and using the same spices. It
Mm.
tastes the same. It's just the spices. All these different meat-based meals taste so different, even if you're using the same or similar meats, which means that you just have to, you know, use the spices, use the seasonings, the sauces that you use to make it taste like this. Find a good base, or just find a good chef that's already done the work for you. That's why I'm here. I'm doing the work for everyone. So people who, like you said, you haven't been able to um, find anything that tastes like a pork chop. That's why I'm here. I'm using what I've learned in my uh, culinary experience and what I've found through research, development, and all these kinds of things, um, to help make it easier for you, to help make it easier for everyone to have these foods that they love.
You know what? You have been the most convincing of all the vegans that I've argued with, and I'm really impressed with you. I'm
Thank
impressed with
you.
you as a human being, as a total package. You know what I mean? Someone teaching, someone who's driven, someone who's aware, and I'm amazed. I've gone onto your website, tabayatkins.com. That's Tabay
Today, yes.
Tabay
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I
No,
have
no
been.
problem.
Why didn't you correct me earlier? See, that's
You
that.
weren't you weren't that off.
Oh,
I've gotten Tabay, Tobe,
oh,
Toby.
oh,
I've even
wow.
gotten today. I've heard it all.
So it's Tibet.
Tabay, yes.
Tibet.
Like the bay.
Okay. TabayAtkins.com. It's TabayAtkins.com. It's Tabay Atkins Yoga and Vegan Cooking. And you can join that site and rock out with America's youngest 500-hour vinyasa certified yoga teacher and vegan chef. And he shares the practice of yoga and healthy living through the practice of yoga and vegan cooking. And I guess you got over 150 yoga and vegan cooking videos and whatnot throughout the
Exactly.
website.
And
And
that's one of the ways that I've been sharing this, like what I'm saying, trying to make it easier for everyone. Making this website, putting the video series so people for the yoga so that they can practice yoga from wherever they are. The vegan recipes so that they can learn how to make these foods, share it through the social media, and this just to promote peace and health and wellness.
I'm proud for you, man.
Thank you.
I'm proud for you. Notice I didn't say proud of you. I said I'm proud for you. You have accomplished so many things. So I'm vicariously enjoying some pride in your accomplishments.
Thank
Therefore,
you.
I am proud for you. Um, he's got a book, got specials, videos, shop for merch, donate to this young man's cause. And one of the causes that you are reportedly strongly behind is our environment. Talk to me about your involvement and your activities there.
So, yes, I'm very much involved with helping with the environment. Um, and I do that on my own, really, just by eating. Every day that
There you
I'm
go.
eating, I'm consuming products that lead to a healthier planet. Because, the meat-based foods, there's so much that goes into it and so little that comes out of it that it's really unsustainable. And it really doesn't make that much sense. More land that is being used and so much food going into it, getting less food out of it. And also the moral reasons, of course. Um, but by doing that, also by sharing all the facts of veganism and how it helps for a healthier planet, healthier environment, better for the animals for obvious reasons. But also, yeah, doing all these things, trying to share what I believe in about the animals, the planet, your health, and everything that I do, it kind of aligns with that. The yoga, you know, your it's more than just a physical practice. Of course, the physical practice is important. You're keeping your body strong, healthy, mobile, and also there's the mental aspect of it, mental, emotional. Like I said with my mom, she learned through yoga the tools to help her deal with stressful situations. She was no longer sad or stressed. She knew how to deal with those situations better. Yoga teaches you a lot about mindfulness, and mindfulness is so broad. If I was to say be mindful, that would kind of be that would be a bit I don't know the word. It's too broad to
Abstract.
say it like that. Yeah, because mindfulness is everything, really. When you're being mindful, um, you're taking in everything, all the things that you know at this moment, and also knowing what you know, knowing what you don't know.
Hmm.
Keeping that in mind, knowing that you don't know everything, that's very important, and keeping an open mind. Um, by doing that, you're being mindful, and you're able to make good decisions. You're really able to make the best decisions based on what it is you're doing. For example, considering the plant-based diet, taking in all the information that you know about this, like let's say all the things that are holding you back, all the things that you already know about the diet. If it is flavors you're worrying about, know all the resources you can use to get what you want to have, so you're not missing out, because um, I don't want anyone to be missing out on food. Food is amazing. And I don't want people to just be gnawing on vegetables all day.
Right.
You can get really creative and have really delicious food. Also, the health aspects. If you're worried about getting the enough nutrition, getting the right types of foods, there's so many documentaries you could watch. And also, I've been certified in plant-based nutrition, learned about what you need, what sources to get it from, and I can just tell you that by going to a plant-based diet, there's nothing to worry about because you're getting everything you need from the plants. All the things that you're getting from animal-based foods like protein or fiber, whatever it is that you want, those animals got it from the plants that they ate. So by eating the animals, we're just eating the middlemen.
Okay.
If we get straight from the source, that doesn't have any of the costly stuff health wise, it'll be a lot better for our nutrition. So taking all this in and being mindful about that, then also mindfulness goes to the environmental reasons. If we were being truly mindful, would we think that eating the animal products, that by producing these products we are contributing to animal suffering, we are contributing to deforestation used for animal agriculture, all the water that goes into making these animal foods, all the food that's being grown and fed, and we're getting less out of it for us to eat. That's not really a mindful mindful way of getting food.
Hmm.
So that's just from yoga. Then you get the veganism part. You're able to put it into action. You learn how to make the foods, or just today you can go. There's a vegan restaurant every street, pretty much. You can try it out there, and remember, it's all a journey. You don't have to be overwhelmed by going right, just leaving behind everything that you have had and going straight into a vegan diet or whole food plant-based diet to go even more extreme. If you do, that's great, but don't overwhelm yourself and don't make it hard for yourself. Take little steps. Any step in the right direction is a good step.
Hmm.
So, just even if you walk slowly, that's fine as long as you don't walk backwards or stay in the same spot. Just keep on walking forward to a healthier diet and lifestyle. Um, it'll really be the best decision you can make.
He said we're gonna cut out eating the middleman and go straight to the source. It's strange. I know. After everything that you just said, I go back to we're gonna not eat the middleman. That was impactful. That was dope. I like that. I've never heard it put that way before. So
It really makes sense when you think about it.
it does make sense. Completely sense.
Yeah.
Complete sense. So I'm no longer arguing with you. I am learning from you, and
Right.
I'm going to try some of this stuff. I'm going to trust you because
Yeah,
obviously,
you can't argue with an open mind. With an open mind, you're just taking in all the other person's things that they're saying, seeing what resonates with you. But arguing is when you have a closed mind, when you're not being mindful, think I know what I know and I'm right. But having an open mind, maybe what I know is not right. Um, Humans aren't always right.
there he goes
I'll
with
tell you that.
that Bruce Lee philosophy stuff. Go ahead. I ain't mad at you. I am very impressed. I am honored to have met you. I
Thank
wish I
you.
had more time with you, but thank you for the time that you spent with us. I know that you probably, been interviewed by quite a few people. I happen to know your PR team is amazing, so they keep you busy. Um, is there a question that we as journalists have failed to ask you that you may have wanted to answer, and you wonder why they never approached me on this subject?
No, I don't think so. It's been pretty complete so far in this interview and all the other interviews that I've had, really covering all topics in a palatable way for everyone to understand. But yeah, just it's been great just sharing using, your platform, using all these platforms to just share what I know to help, increase the knowledge that there is out there, so people have a bit more help when trying to make decisions. It's hard to make decisions with so much opposing information. On this side, it says vegans, you need to go vegan. If you're not vegan, you're going to be unhealthy. And then the other side is saying, if you're gonna stop eating meat products, you're not gonna get what you need. So it's overwhelming sometimes. You don't know which way to go because both sides thinks that they're right. So I'm just sharing what I know and what I believe myself through training, through research, and through my own personal experience and experience of my students and clients, what has worked for us, just to make it easier.
Amazing young man, Tabay Atkins. Look, I'm so honored to have met you, and I'm following you on Instagram.
Thank you.
My intention is to try out some of your suggestions and see what shakes.
Yeah, well, the best way is to try it out for yourself.
Yeah, gotta try
Don't
it.
listen to me. Don't listen to everyone. Just do it yourself and see.
They
Don't say
say
no before you try it.
they say trust but verify. So
Yes,
therefore, I trust you and your experience, and your client list is impressive, but I'm going to verify by trying it myself. So
yes,
thank you for
please
the
do.
opportunity to learn from you today, and I appreciate you sharing.
Of
And I
course,
look
that's
forward
what
to
I'm
maybe
here
speaking
for.
with you again.
Yep.
All right, cool.
Thank you.
The Hype Magazine live sessions. Tabay Atkins. He's an amazing young lion who has taught me a few things today, and I really appreciate the opportunity. Until next time, we're out.
Namaste.